Hello, fabulous friends and fans. Welcome to this special series, special topics that I'm doing on the North Node through the signs, through the houses. I'm truly so grateful for this moment with you, and I'm grateful for your interactions and your questions because it is friends and fans just like yourself who asked for these videos. And so here they are as my offering, and in gratitude for your request as well. And so this particular video is on the North Node, if you have the North Node in the first house or in the sign of Aries. Now, I'm doing this for simplicity's sake. I'm putting them together, although I know that they're not exactly the same thing. But especially when you're learning astrology, when you're a beginner learning astrology or intermediate astrologer as well, it helps to understand them as related, even though, of course, they have their own distinctions and they are a different thing. And I will try to point out those distinctions. Also, I have created a video that properly introduces the meaning of the North Node and also the South Node as well. And I would encourage you to watch that as well to more fully understand the symbol that I'm speaking of where it comes to the node. So the first house has to do with breath. It has to do with instinct. It has to do with what you feel. And it has to do with your most immediate gut reaction. It has to do with how you are inspired to be. And it is about being. It's before you're actually going out and doing anything in the world. It's how you understand yourself at your most essence. And it's what you understand to be most important. It is what you identify with. And so if you've got your North Node in the first house, then a lot of this life is going to be spent on you honoring your own instincts, honoring your own impulses, honoring what it is that you feel, not only that you need to do, it's not so much about what you need to do, but honoring who you believe yourself to be, what your identity is. And whatever you believe yourself to be, that is where life is going to pull you. Life is going to move you constantly back to yourself, back to yourself. Now, if you have your North Node in the first house, then you have the South Node in the seventh house. With the South Node in the seventh house, whatever is happening on the level of South Node is, on the one hand, you're moving away from, but also the South Node tends to manifest very strongly in our earlier life. And the South Node represents basically our most immediate past life stuff that we desire to resolve in this life, and we desire to move away from. So all things being equal, of course, you have to look at the aspects and things that are taking place to your South Node. However, and other planets in the seventh house. However, what I found is one of two scenarios are very clearly possible with South Node in the seventh house. One is that with South Node in the seventh house, either you find that person that you're meant to be with, that you're meant to marry, and it's sort of like written for you, and very early in life you sort of lock it down, if you will. You know who your partner is early in life, and that's it. And then that way, once you have that locked down, you can start moving away from it. You can start not having to consider partnerships and all that stuff because it's already been written. You've already sort of found your most easiest place to be, and now you can focus on yourself. You can start moving towards you. The other scenario, though, and again, a lot depends on, if not all depends on, what other planets are placed in the seventh, what's happening with the ruler of the seventh. But what I've also seen with this such scenario is that the person ends up constantly being asked to spend time on their own, constantly being asked to consider their own perspective. And that means that they may be asked to, whether they're in a partnership or not, they are asked to maintain a very strong sense of self and a very strong identity of self. Their ways in behaving in the seventh house might not be so enlightened because wherever the South Node is, and especially when I look at the sign of the quality of the South Node, so wherever the sign is of the South Node, we tend to more easily manifest the lower vibration of that sign. And wherever the sign is of the North Node, we tend to manifest the higher qualities of that sign. So all things being equal, okay, every sign has a spectrum of expression. And when, now moving on to the signs, when the South Node is in Libra, that can indicate an approach to partnership where, especially in the early life, sort of like the most immediate way to be is, okay, I got to hook up, I got to connect, I got to have a partner, I have to have somebody with me. And that allows a feeling of security. This can also be in early life not wanting to be alone, not wanting to feel alone. And so wanting to have somebody there, wanting a partner there as well. With the North Node in Aries, it becomes much more about life constantly saying to you, trust yourself, trust your passion more than anything, trust your inspiration. Trust what it is that is fun for you as a child. Trust what it is your earliest experiences showed you you wanted to be and that you wanted to actually breathe in the world. Trust that state of being that you knew was most natural and right for you. Trust that energy. That's what an Aries North Node says as well. And so when you look at this balance, ultimately the higher spiritual lesson, the way that you move yourself into your future is to say to yourself, okay, who am I really? That is the eternal question. And life is going to put you in lots of situations to really understand who you are really at your most essence. And what is it that you really feel? What is it that you really believe about yourself, about possibilities? What is it that fires you up? That is North Node in Aries, and that is also North Node in the first house. If you can ask yourself that question, then you start tapping into that North Node, and you start opening that doorway to move yourself towards your positive evolution, your positive growth, and honoring the purpose of your incarnation. Well, thank you so much for watching, and keep those questions and interactions coming on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. I'm so grateful for this moment with you. Until we connect again, take care. Thank you for watching. It'll be a great month. Be fabulous and enjoy.